Welcome to Moments of Motherhood. I'm Bailey.
And I'm Tori. Join us in creating community through shared experiences and candid conversations.
We hope to bring you laughter, comfort, and solidarity in this journey of motherhood.
This is our virtual village. Welcome back to Moments of Motherhood. I'm Tori.
And I'm Bailey. Happy 4th of July.
I know. We're both in our, matching.
Oh my gosh. We literally, I don't know if you can, see my pants.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we didn't even plan this. This is not what I'm wearing today, but...
Oh, this is not what I'm wearing today.
Well, that's, so festive. Mine is just pink and white, so... I still don't know what I'm wearing.
You might listen to this episode on 4th of July, but most likely probably not because we have plans with our families, so editing is not likely, but hopefully you had fun celebrating.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say no. It's not going to be done today.
Yeah, unless I'm feeling really ambitious and have a 45-minute chunk of time. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I've got lots of cooking.
Yeah, you have no time. You don't even have time to do this, but I appreciate
either do you. I
mean, got a little bit more time today, but
yeah.
I think we're gonna. Oh, wait! Before we get right in it, which we want to just get right in it, but before we do, there's one thing we have to address.
What? Oh, yeah.
The Haktua.
Okay. Was not a school teacher.
Right, and
we were misinformed.
Yeah.
She's just a 21-year-old girl.
Literally, I was watching
which is crazy
with her. I forgot what podcast she was on, but yeah, she was like, I'm 21, I'm not even old enough to be a teacher. And
which is there an age on how old you have to be a teacher?
I mean, you have to have a 4-year degree, right? So
I graduated college at 20. You could be a teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Before I could drink.
That's crazy.
And everywhere out here, they have running start at so many places.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, she's 21 and a baby.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Even though I'm still 21 with 3 kids.
Right. It's crazy. So I woke up this morning. My mom's visiting. I just have to tell you this story because I'm really mind blown and I'm not really sure what to do. I went to go get coffee and stepped foot into my car and I'm like, oh my God, what is this smell? This is repulsive. I'm like, there has to be a rotten diaper in here or something. So I'm searching. I see a diaper. I'm like, nope, this is just pee. That can't be it. I have this jug for the boys that's a pee, urinal for all the times they have to go pee in the car. Somehow it ended up open and upside down and dumped into the carpets. And it's been 90 degrees. And it's the
Suburban?
Yeah. And it's the most disgusting smell. I had to drive with all the windows down the entire time.
God, you still took your coffee.
I needed a coffee.
You needed that coffee. That's how important coffee is.
I don't know what to do. And my husband always makes comments about how chaotic the Suburban is and it stresses him out. So I don't really even know how I'm going to break the news to him that he's got to figure out a way to clean it. That's not a new thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
And also, oh my God, please just hire somebody.
Ugh.
I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know.
I think we should just sell the car.
Literally burn it. Set it on fire.
That pee smell?
Yeah, because do you know what happened? Okay, so this reminds me of another story, now that we're going on a tangent. We left for Mexico, right, in February for our wedding. I cleaned the whole house before we left.
Yeah, I know.
And a crazy person. And we get back from Mexico at 1 a.m. or something. And I walk upstairs and I'm like, what is that smell? Oh my gosh, is there an animal in our house that died? What happened? Go in our bathroom and there's a toilet full of pee. That had been sitting there for 2 weeks. And I'm I went around because we left at 6 a.m. Our flight was at 6 a.m. So we left at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And, I'm running around last minute, I always make sure the boys' toilet is flushed because they never flush the toilet. Really working on that, but they never flush the toilet in the morning. So I'm like, went in there, made sure that was flushed. Downstairs toilet's flushed. Like, didn't even think to check ours, and it was literally like something died in our whole upstairs. And I'm like, this is lovely to come home to. But luckily, like, we could just flush it away.
Oh, I know.
And open the windows, and it was totally fine. But
so gross though. Pee smells like
it's so
debilitating.
Intense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm really sorry.
So disgusting. Yeah. So that's how my day started. So hence the no makeup. I was like, I'm just doing this. Like, I don't even have the energy. I've got so much to do.
Ever need makeup?
Oh, thanks. You're so sweet.
So jealous of. I'm really not that
okay,
sweet. I'm jealous.
Stop. Like, you do. You don't either. You're so ridiculous.
Anyway, yeah, that's just a me thing. But yeah, so we addressed the Hawk-Tuah girl. Sorry that we spread misinformation. But glad that she's having her moment. She like went on stage with Zach Bryan.
I know.
Got signed to an agent. Like, go girl. Good for her.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because Joe, I like told Joe about it and we talked about it for a minute. And he was like, I'm mad at these guys that were interviewing her. Like, they could have literally just ruined her life. And like, thank God it obviously had the opposite effect. But
yeah,
seriously, I really didn't even think about that perspective. Like, until he mentioned it to me, and I was like, that's,
pretty valid.
They're just trying to get funny content, but at the same time, like, they're drunk girls that it's 1 a.m. and like, you know, that they're being filmed.
I need to know, are the guys drunk too? Like, are they drunk or are they sober?
Did you see the whole interview?
No.
Oh, I watched, like, not the whole interview, but they interviewed so many people.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were drunk. They were just like, that's like legit their gig is doing this like interview thing.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, I'm glad it all worked out for her because obviously it could have been just like really lame.
Crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. Those were the days going out.
Oh my God. I was thinking about that when I watched the YouTube video of like, oh my God, I can't even.
I can't hang.
I would never.
I mean, I can hang if I needed to, but.
Yeah. We hung in for my wedding.
Yeah, we did.
That's like the latest I've ever stayed out since being a mother.
How late were we out?
Like midnight.
Oh my God, no. I definitely still have some late nights when my mom's here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I can like turn it on.
When I went to school in Buffalo,
oh my God,
the bars didn't close till 4.
I know, so crazy.
I was literally out till 4.
Yeah,
that doesn't even make sense in my head.
It's crazy.
What did we do?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
A lot.
Yeah, seriously. Anyway, that's our tangent. We'll stop there.
Yeah, so I got a call after our last podcast, and I don't know if I even told you about it yet. But
you got a call
I feel
from
like
an agent?
Yeah, from an agent, and they want to book us.
They want to sign us.
Yeah, sign us. That's what I meant. Clearly not. No, from a friend, and she was just like, oh my gosh, like, don't give up, you guys. This is amazing. Like, every time I listen, it like makes me feel so good. And like, she's on a way different path than we are. Like, you and I both have like a fairly, I don't want to say traditional, but like a pretty like nuclear family right now. And that's different from like a lot of my friends, potentially a lot of your friends. Like, there's just different dynamics, like with family members, all of that. And she was just like, it's amazing that even though like our lives are so different, like as mothers, they're so similar. Like, we still have like the same struggles as moms, you know, like we might have different struggles with a husband or being single, or, you know, like outside forces are different, but like motherhood at its core is so similar across the board for like all walks of life. And she was just like, don't give up. Like, it changes my day whenever I get to listen to it. And it was just like so sweet. And I was like, oh, thank you. So that was really nice. Yeah.
I had 2 people in the last week say something similar to me about like feeling like they're just like hanging out with their friends and talking about motherhood stuff when they turn it on. So, I mean, this is just a little passion project, and it would be great to grow it eventually. I feel like right now it's like really tricky for Bailey and I, just with everything in life that's going on, to like put a lot of time and intention on this. But I think what we're doing right now feels good, and I am glad that it's resonating. We love to know if the podcast is resonating with you. So like, message us, tell us, let us know. Like that makes our day.
It like
makes
totally
our
like it gives me hope. I'm like, okay, I'm not like leaving my children and leaving my house crazy chaotic for no reason.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think it takes a lot to like get on here for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then edit, and then like it's a lot.
It's a thing.
And I think like just branching off that, it's so interesting to like look at friendships as moms, right? Like, I don't know, making new friends versus your old friends, and mom friends or single friends. And there's just so many different dynamics when it comes to friendships and motherhood. And like, I know for me, I find it really challenging to make new friends. Like, I can count probably on my hands the amount of like new friends I have as a mother. Mostly because I think I'm just so busy. It's not that I don't want friends. I'm just so busy. But I also think it's hard, when you're like young and single, it's just you. So you're just like, okay, as long as I vibe with the person, we're good. But when you have a whole family, it's like, okay, my kids have to get along with their kids, and I have to get along with them, and we have to have similar morals, and like extra bonus if our husbands are friends. And then also like timing up everyone's schedules. Like, it's a whole like process.
Yeah. So today we're talking about friendships, mom friends, making new friends as a mom, and like potentially, especially for us, like making new friends in a new part of the country. We weren't born and raised here, so we don't have like our high school friends, or even a lot of family to like connect with, make friendships that way. So yeah, it's been a journey for me, for sure. I don't have a crazy amount of friends. I do feel like the friends out here that I do have, like, I am so grateful for, and I cherish them. And most of the friendships I have out here are other moms, so they get it when I'm like, oh, something's not working out, or I don't have time this week to connect, or I don't have, hi kiddos, door slam.
Yeah,
I'm recording, get out.
Literally.
Sorry, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So yeah, keeping friendships as you transition through motherhood, and then finding new ones as you enter like motherhood. So as like a first time mom. And then there's another layer of like when your kids go to school or preschool. Or for me, my oldest is about to be 6, so he's starting to be like, oh, friends. Can they come over? Can I have a birthday party with them?
Yeah.
So that's like a lot more on me to make sure I'm, trying to make connections for him, and reaching out to parents, and all of these different dynamics that I'm not really used to, but I have to figure out because, he's not in traditional school yet. So it's harder to navigate those sort of relationships. But I hear my kids out too. But yeah, I get like what are some ways that you have made friends? I know I can think of a couple ways in which I made my friends, but do you have any ways that you've found that you've been able to connect with new people since moving out here?
I feel like I'm probably like a little bit different than you in the sense that like I have probably, really, I have like one friend out here that's like I would call a friend, and she was my friend before I had kids. I like slid into her DMs because I was looking, when I first moved out here, I was looking for someone to cut curly hair. So I like slid into her DMs and I was just like, hey. And then we started bonding over actually being step parents. She was a step parent of Emily.
Okay.
And then it just happened to be that her husband was from the same area as my husband in LA. He's like, they're a little bit older than us, but we just like vibed off of that. And, but they live almost an hour away from us. So it's hard. But what I found for me personally, just because I don't have like the time to meet up, I don't have the capacity. Oh, and my other friend I met as well before having kids, Camille. And that was also like through, she was, I found her, through the NFL. She did all of like my custom clothes that I would do like for the kids and everything.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And that's how we met. And she was just like the sweetest, like best human being ever.
What's the name of her company?
Fly Fit brand. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she does amazing work and she's just the sweetest. And it's been fun because she's actually a mom too. So even though we don't get to like get together, we kind of got to go through, I became a mother first, but then we got to support each other through our journeys on that. And it was like so sweet and fun and it's the best. So yeah, I do have like those two. They're my good friends out here. That like was making new friends, but that was also before I had kids. And I think with me, my capacity to handle like making plans and keeping plans is really hard. So I like pretty much suck at making new friends just because I like can't handle it. I found a lot more peace and like solace in reconnecting with old friends. So like, I don't know, like Jacqueline and Gina and like all these people, it's like we were best friends at like a time period in our lives, and then like whether I moved or they moved or like, you know, we just kind of went our separate ways. And then it's kind of crazy how like when we all became mothers, like we find each other like back unified. So it's like even though we aren't together and hanging out, it's like we're texting each other like, oh my God, have you been dealing with this? Or are you stressed out? Like, what do I do in this situation? How are you surviving? And just like yearning, like, oh, I wish we could just sit on the couch together and like watch our kids run around. So yeah, finding new hearts new friends is challenging. Yeah. But what about for you? I feel like you like are really good at like, not really good, but I feel like you're like pretty good at going out and like doing things, or maybe you have friends that like push it a little bit more and like.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think what you just said, though, just want to touch on this really quick. It goes back to why we sort of created this podcast, like the virtual village, because a lot of like the friends that you have right now are thousands of miles away from you, or an hour drive, and like those hour drive with 3 kids, like it really is just.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's too much.
It just can feel too much at a certain point in life. Like maybe when all of the kids reach a certain age, it's definitely a little easier. But when you have like a baby, like we both have babies. I mean, mine is 20 months. I think I consider babies like under 2. Yeah. He's very much still a baby. And that makes it hard to go out and do things, especially when you have others too, like other kids. And you know, some of the time you only have 3, some of the time you have 5, some of the time you have 8. So that's like a whole other layer. I think you do really good at connecting with others, even like I know you feel like it's really hard for you, but I think like your little cul-de-sac is a good little support for you, even if it's not like daily. So for me, I live out in the country, so there's not really a way to like connect with neighbors. Our neighbors so are older. True. So it also depends on where you live. So not that
you're pretty isolated.
Yeah, so that was one of the things about moving out here that I really had to go back and forth on and weigh the pros and cons of like, okay, am I going to feel supported enough? Am I going to feel like I have enough community? What do we really want out of life? Ultimately, like, I feel like this is definitely the right decision overall. Do I wish I had a little bit more community? Maybe like some neighborly vibes? Yes. But I think as the boys grow older, we connect with others their age, like it'll feel a little bit more evened out. But yeah, there's something about having littles that makes it really hard to connect with other moms. And I know that for me, the two, so Corinne for sure, shout out to Corinne. She lives like 20 minutes away from me, which is pretty close for out in the country. And then Krista, I lived like 5 minutes away from Krista when we lived in Portland, and we have kids that are 2 months apart. And that was like amazing for when I had Levi. I really leaned on her and had her support, and I don't know what I would have done without her. But those relationships came about. Corinne, I met through a birthing class before I had kids, but I was pregnant. And somehow we just clicked, and we just like kept staying in touch. And it was sort of like really sporadic for the first like couple years of our oldest life. Like it would be like once every like 6 months or something, but we would still text and stuff because she lived out in the country and I lived in Portland, so it was like an hour drive. But we still stayed in touch and ended up becoming really, really close. And now she's my main person out here. And Krista, I actually met in grad school. I interned for her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And then when I was pregnant, or no, right after I had Levi, I was feeling lonely and like, okay, I need support. So I was like looking for like mama circles, mama hangouts, kid little baby class time stuff. And she had posted, I think on Facebook or something, that she was hosting a little like postpartum hangout. And I was like, oh, cool. And then when I got to her house, I was like, oh, I interned for you. This is so crazy.
Oh my god!
And then we just stayed.
So you didn't know when you read her Facebook, you didn't like realize, you didn't connect that it was her?
I was like 5 months postpartum.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
just like you saw it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. And it was so funny. And we hit it off because we had a lot in common. We were both in the nutrition world, and we lived so close to each other. So we definitely supported each other through that. But she is a working mama, so she went back to work, I think around 18 months postpartum, like part-time stuff. So eventually, and then I had another baby, and so our lives kind of like looked a little bit different for a while. But that's how I reconnected, I guess, with her. And then COVID hit, so it was really hard. But now that we're back to like normal life, I really encourage new moms, or if you're feeling like you need more friends, like Facebook. I have found so many meetups on Facebook. And then I also reconnected. I met somebody in grad school, and I reconnected with her and actually learned about free birthing from her.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I went on the journey of free birthing, was from my friend from grad school. And she had a baby too right after I had a baby. So she introduced me to some women's circles and free birthing. And I actually feel really lucky that I've had like these connections. But I do feel like I'm also not the best at like keeping in touch or following through with plans and stuff, because it does feel overwhelming with 3 sometimes, and being so far sort of out of Portland and in the country. It just that's another layer of meeting up and hanging out. But Facebook groups, if you're pregnant, expecting, I would, even if you feel like you don't need a birthing class, it's such a good way to meet other women that are having babies near you, like close to you. That would be a good way. And then story times. Those are
Mm-hmm.
free. Those are good ways to meet other moms. You just really, honestly, you have to put yourself out there. You have to like be the one to go up to
Yeah.
other women. And that's what I had to do at my oldest graduation. I went up to the moms there and I was like, hey, I know my son likes playing with your son. Can I get your number? And it like felt sort of scary. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it because we just had a play date. And if I didn't do it, then
Yeah.
so yeah, you
Yeah,
do have to put
school
yourself out.
helps. Like
Yeah.
my son's school, like a lot of the moms, like we are in the same swimming class and that type
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff. And like, super sweet, super, but it's hard, I think, for us too. Like we just have such a different life compared to a lot of people too, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't know. It's like hard because a lot of people like kind of like are like fans of Ed. So
Yeah.
it's hard to like find people that are just like don't give a shit,
Mm.
So it's kind of hard to like decipher, like, I don't know how to word it really. It's just like a challenging, like, kind of
Yeah, you want genuine
thing.
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be hard. And yeah, it's like a little weird. But I
Yeah.
tried doing, have you heard of the Peanut app?
Uh-huh.
So I registered for Peanut,
Oh, cool.
um, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's almost like a Tinder, but for moms, like to find
Mm-hmm.
mom friends, and you can like swipe and you read each other's profile and that type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, I met like some cool people out there, but it just like felt really taxing and really like, I don't know, not me to do it that way. But
Yeah.
I think it could be great for certain people. I am super, super lucky, and I'm glad you brought that up. My community that we live in has been like a lifesaver, a godsend for
Yeah.
me. That's actually who we do like 4th of July with, and we do cookouts probably every other week. And even though I'm probably considered a younger mom in the area, most of the parents have teenagers like
Mm.
as their youngest.
Yeah.
It's great to have that support system, and a lot of our ideologies are similar, and it's helped really root me in my belief systems of who I am as a mother, which is great to have that assurance. Like my neighbor Amy is seriously one of my best friends. We're together
She's so
probably a few
sweet.
times a week. She's the best human I've ever met, and just like,
And she's an experienced mom. Like she has kids
yeah.
that are teenagers, so she
Mm-hmm.
knows, she gets it.
Oh, totally. Like she's been through the thick of it, and she
Which
was a
is,
stay-at-home mom
yeah.
for like a long time and then started working once her kids were older. Um, which I also like, part of me, I just am like, oh, I'm so sorry. I wish you could still be a stay-at-home mom. Because I think that's like
Oh,
a hard transition for a lot of mamas to like go back to work after you're there for every step, every lunch, every field
yeah.
trip, all of those things.
Yeah. I have anxiety thinking about just sending my oldest like to school, being away from me, and I can't
I
imagine
know.
like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
know a lot
can't.
of women have to, work and want to work, and I'm I definitely have like and actually I would like wanted to touch on that with you at some point. Like the urge to go and maybe explore like
Hmm.
something not like full time or not even really part time, but
Yeah.
yeah, just like a I mean, this is our hobby, but it's so like rare. But yeah, anyway, sorry, that was like a little tangent. I'm just like feeling I mean like I definitely get like working moms like needing that like
Yeah.
time
You're
away. And I
feeling
think
like you
it's
need something.
yeah, and but maybe that even just like goes back to a community.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
maybe I'm wanting to explore some sort of like side gig, other passion thing because I'm yearning for more adult connection.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And I
and
think
if
that's what
I,
a lot of it is,
yeah,
right? Is like we yearn for adult connection. I think almost all women
yeah,
have that, where you want that interaction, and it can be tiring talking to little children all day, every day.
that don't want to listen
Yeah,
to
and
what you're actually
obviously,
saying.
yeah, and can't even begin to have the same conversations. Like,
Yeah, I know. And oh my gosh, I'm like appreciating my oldest more and more because he we do have some great conversations. Obviously, it's not adult level, but I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, you getting older is like breaking my heart, but so sweet at the same time. Like 6-year-olds, man.
I know. It's really crazy.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like if I was living next door to my sisters, I probably wouldn't even think about,
Oh,
I
I
need to
know.
go to work so that I can
I
have some
know.
other connection. I would be like, oh, my sisters, like, let me go hang out for an hour to like
Yeah.
decompress and just chill for a second, and then we can go
Yeah.
home and go
Yeah.
back to our own thing. But yeah, it's
hard. And then Sammy, like, she lives an hour away too. I was just thinking, I didn't mention her because she's not a new friend. She's like, family, and we
yeah,
both happen to live out here, and we have kids the same age, and we try getting the kids together because they're cousins, and it's just like that trek an hour away is so hard.
yeah, but it's like an hour. It's like Seattle traffic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
which is like another. I couldn't even imagine having to do traffic.
yeah, it's not terrible because we're both kind of on the outskirts, so I guess it depends the time of day you go, but it's just like we're
Okay.
going from one kind of far out suburb to another far out suburb. And yeah, if it was just an hour, that'd be fine. But it's like an hour there and then an hour back. And then her and my other friend live right next to each other. And I'm like, oh, it'd be great if I could just go to one's house and then the other's. But it's like, my kids will only last 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's
so hard.
Yeah.
And I know, I feel like now I'm thinking of more friends. Like I have Chelsea, who was my roommate out here.
I know.
And, I got pregnant with my oldest 7 years ago. And she is going to have a 3-year-old. So for 3 years, we kind of like drifted apart a little bit because, we were on different timelines of life. Yeah, different paths for a little bit there. But now, like, she has a kid, but, she lives an hour away too. So,
yeah.
But she is great. Like, we still text, we still stay in touch, and she is awesome about trying to get together.
Yeah.
And so
I just find that so interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think that's so interesting how, you do so often take like a different timeline. Like someone becomes a mother first, someone still is going out and doing things and has freedom to a sense and like their own, just to be their own individual. And when you become a mother, it's a completely different lifestyle. Yeah. Like your whole entire life changes. And I think for me, it's hard to have, it can be challenging to have friends that aren't mothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's just like your brain is so different. And I love my friends that are single and are able to go out and don't have to think about anyone else or worry about what their kids are eating. But it's hard because there's just a different level of responsibility that comes into play when you're a mother, and different thoughts on your mind and things that are occupying your headspace.
Totally.
That can be hard.
Yeah, I think reconnecting.
There's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, totally. Because, I don't blame the friends that, because I was there. I was, I mean, my sister had kids and she was like, it changes you. And obviously, like, there's an age gap between me and my oldest sister. So, like, there was always some misalignment anyway. Looking back, like, I don't blame the friends that I had for sort of, like, we weren't connecting or we were hanging out as much once I had kids because it just like it didn't really make sense. I'm not mad at them, for like maybe not checking up on me or whatever. However I felt about it, I can't even remember, honestly. I don't like hold grudges. I'm more so you're pregnant now? How can I like be there for you? Like, let me know when you're feeling up to it after the baby comes, whether that's weeks or months or 6 months. Like, I'll be there because I've been there. So I think reconnecting is a really good idea. Just putting yourself out there feels so scary, but it can be so worth it. I mean, it has been for me anyway. I mean, I'm definitely more of an extrovert by nature, so it's a little bit easier for me. But I would just say, if you're really feeling lonely, it really doesn't hurt to just say, hey.
Yeah, I know. There's been so many times Ed would tell you, I've literally like, I'll set up play dates. I scheduled these play dates and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And then literally before I'm like crying, I'm like, Ed, I can't do it. I can't go to the play date. And then I like suck it up and I go and I'm like, oh my God, why was I stressed out about this? Like, this was so great. I needed adult interaction. It's just like, if you can fight through like all the negative thoughts you have and sometimes just tough it out, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Making friends as an adult, period, I think is hard.
Yeah, super hard.
Adding kids to that
especially
mix.
A new city.
Yeah.
Kids, husbands, lifestyles, ideologies. Like, I think that's huge for me too. Having kids has really rooted me, whereas before I was a lot more
unsure.
I don't really, yeah, not even unsure, just like, I think more tolerant of people's bullshit. Where having kids, I just don't. Okay, we don't see eye to eye. There's really no point in, like, if we aren't already friends and like I don't value your character a ton, if we aren't really on the same page with things, there's not really like, I don't see a reason to spend time.
Yeah, you have to protect your peace. And if it doesn't bring you like joy, if that relationship isn't serving you, then
yeah. So I think for me, like, I'm really big on our ideologies have to match, and like our root cause or our root purpose really has to align for me to like want you in my space.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds harsh, but I've always kept a pretty small circle and that's just how I operate. So that doesn't mean I don't like you as a human, you know, or I don't like you like casually. It's just, that can be another dynamic that's challenging, especially if we don't hold the same values or how we want to raise our kids and things like that. It can be really challenging.
Yeah. Agree.
You know, but yeah, that's my little tangent.
Yeah. I was trying to think if I have any other thoughts on this. It's definitely been a journey. Don't get frustrated if you don't have like your core mom group right after your first is born, or if you just plan on having one like 6 months after you have your baby. Give it some time. Don't be afraid to reach out.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, you.
I'm just kidding. I really, give it time. It's because it can be lonely.
Times. Yeah, you don't want to. If you're feeling lonely, like this is, and you're listening to this podcast, this is your sign to reach out.
Yeah.
To somebody, or go to a meetup or a play date or something like that. Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. Do you want to say hi? They can't see you. You got to come over here.
Can you say thanks for listening to our podcast? Oh, he can't hear me.
Oh, he can't hear you. Here, you want to hear Tori? You have to do what she says, okay?
Okay, you got to tell everybody thanks for listening to our podcast.
You say it? Say it loud in here. Ready?
Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Good job.
All right, bye.
You say, see you next time, everyone.
Oh, he can't hear you again.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Shoot.
Say bye. Talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.
Bye.